This is The Ridge Report, Niagara University's student-produced newscast. Get a glimpse into what's happening on the Ridge. Today's stories: Dead Man's Cell Phone, live loop musician Gary Johnson, and romantic movie reviews.
Welcome. I'm David Yarger.
And I'm Katie Apoles. Niagara University Theater is presenting Dead Man's Cell Phone, a play by Sarah Rule from February 16th through the 19th in the Castellani Art Museum. Trevor Kopp, professor of physical theater at NU, directs the show about a lonely woman's frustration about the relentless ringing of a cell phone in a quiet cafe. The comedy displays the wild journey of this woman as she is forced to challenge her own assumptions about integrity, redemption, and the need to connect in a world preoccupied by technology. Get your tickets at the box office or by going online. Don't forget that all NU students receive one free ticket for the show.
Live loop musician Gary Johnson came to campus this past Thursday night for an all-request show in Gallagher's multi-purpose room. Students texted in their song requests for Gary to perform using only his voice, guitar, and music looping equipment. Students enjoyed listening to a variety of music ranging from today's top hits, 90s jams, songs from movies and television, and much more. Gary will be giving away 200 free copies of his newest CD being released soon. Check out his website at gjsolo.com for additional information.
My name is Gary Johnson. I'm from Syracuse, New York, and I have musical parents, so I've basically always played music. I was touring for several years with some guys that have been in some pretty big bands, but basically it wasn't doing me any good to kind of ride their coattails, so I got into the college market in 2011. So this is coming into my 6th year doing it. I've kind of always messed around with echo, which is kind of, if you've seen my show, it's called looping, which is where I'm repeating things constantly. And when I was a little kid, I had these infantile echo pedals that would allow me to loop things for 4 seconds, and it sounded really bad and was really clunky, but it was something that always kind of stuck with me. So once they started developing technology to actually do that, I kind of made my thing out of it. This show, at one point I was bringing out a piano and I'd bring out a tambourine and kind of do some things like that, but it kind of took away from the novelty of, look what I can do with just me and my guitar, which is, the limitations of that is kind of beautiful, because I fight, my whole goal when I do anything, if it's Snoop Dogg or Justin Bieber or the Beatles, is to make it sound as close to the original as I can. I've played guitar and piano since I was 2. It's all I've ever done. I learned how to drum when I was 4, play bass shortly thereafter, and so it's always come super natural. And when I was about 9, I know it seems young, but to me music was my life at that point. I recorded myself singing, and I was so horrified that I swore that I'd never sing again. And it wasn't until my junior year of high school that a teacher literally forced me to join chorus. Changed my schedule around without asking, and insisted on teaching me how to sing. I wouldn't go to my lessons because I was worried that somebody might hear me sing, so singing just came incredibly hard to me. At one point in my life, I was homeless, living in a hotel after my home burned down. My parents were both sick, and I was trying to take care of them, and they told me to get a real job, and so I was in college, and I got a desk job, and did that, and it was really hard, and I decided that I wanted to do this. So I realized that it was coming here and kind of what I said before, doing what everybody else was going to do wasn't going to get me anywhere. Because I know people that are better singers than me, I know people that are better guitar players than me, but I had to find something different. So that's when I found the college market, which is really the place for that. Because I do some theater shows, do some casino shows, and they're welcoming to that, but not like the college market. You can find me on iTunes and or gjsolo.com, and gjsolo is my username on all social media, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, etc., etc. So my CDs have previously been available under the name Gary Johnson, which you can still find on iTunes. And my last CD I recorded in 2010 with the bass player from The Fray and the drummer from Breaking Benjamin. But the problem is that there are a lot of Gary Johnsons. So when you look me up, there's a spiritual guy and there's some mellow tunes guys. So the new CD will be under GJ Solo.
Love is in the air here at the Ridge Report. Although Valentine's Day 2017 has come to an end, here's Franklin Heinzman and Jason Leibrock with Bromantic movie reviews.
Hello, I'm Jason Leibrock.
And I'm Franklin Heinzman.
Welcome to Bromantic Movie Reviews. The first film is Titanic, written and directed by James Cameron, starring Leonardo DiCaprio as Jack Dawson and Kate Winslet as Rose DeWitt Bucator. This movie is by far my favorite out of the three we are reviewing today, and it is rightfully one of the biggest grossing movies of all time. I felt every emotion imaginable within the span of 3 hours while watching this. At times I wanted to cry, laugh, cheer, and throw the remote through the TV.
I completely agree with you, Franklin. Now that I want to shine a light on how realistic the movie felt because of its production. The graphics, the camera work, the scenery, and the costumes, no matter what level of the boat the scene was filmed on, it felt like I was actually on board along with Jack and Rose.
That Leonardo DiCaprio is really going places. I hope he doesn't have to do anything extreme to win an Oscar or anything. Maybe like live out in the woods or get attacked by a bear. So Jason, what would you rate this movie out of 10?
Well, Franklin, I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. There were 1 or 2 holes in the story, but they were very minor. And Jack definitely could have fit on that door with Rose. What did you think of it, Franklin?
I'm going to stick behind my one of the greatest movies of all time statement and give it a perfect 10 out of 10.
Okay, now let's talk about The Notebook, one of the greatest love stories ever made and one of my personal favorites. Ryan Gosling and Rachel McAdams star as Noel Calhoun and Allie Hamilton in a story about a young couple in the 1940s told using flashbacks. If I could describe this movie in one word, it would be beautiful. This film does not really show a clear-cut and simple version of love, but rather portrays it as a sloppy and unplanned ordeal that someone just can't forget.
Yes, and it also shows how complicated love is, like the choice Allie has to make between staying with the guy that she promised to marry who has good money or going with her true love, Noah. The most heartbreaking reveal is that Noah is actually reading the story of their love to Allie throughout the whole film. Allie suffers from dementia and can only remember Noah when he reads the story to her every day.
That is a real show of true love, bro, and why this movie is so beautiful and wonderful. I give it a 9 out of 10. Rock on, Noah. Rock on. What did you think about it, Franklin?
You know, to be honest with you, I thought it was a bit too sappy at times, and that doesn't really play well with me. So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
Last but not least, let's talk about 50 First Dates. The film was directed by Peter Segal and is written by George Wing. Adam Sandler stars as Henry Roth, who is a veterinarian at Sea Life Park in Hawaii. He then meets Lucy Whitmore, played by Drew Barrymore. She is the perfect girl for Henry, but there's one problem. She has short-term memory loss.
That is very true. I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. Overall, it was a good but not a great movie. There was good qualities about it, but definitely not as good as Titanic or The Notebook. There was definitely room for improvement.
I found this movie to be super cheesy at times and just didn't really keep my attention. Adam Sandler did not have the same charm as his earlier movies, such as Happy Gilmore and Billy Madison. In the end though, the part where Lucy has to watch the videotape in order to remember was truly heart-wrenching and unique. I will give the movie a 6.5 out of 10. Thank you for joining us today on Bromantic Movie Reviews. I'm Jason Leibrock.
And I'm Franklin Heinzman. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
That's all for now. Tune in next time for more on what's happening on the Ridge.
For more information on campus news and upcoming events, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and check out our website at ridgereport.niagara.edu. I'm David Yarger.
And I'm Katie Aples. Thank you for watching
The
The
Ridge
Ridge Report.